Okay, we're now looking at 2004. I just realized that this is the origin of Rosemary, but um, I had water damage on this motherfucking thing. God damn it. That's okay. That's the best it's going to look. I moved into this new house in 2010, in November of 2010. So something's got water damaged. That's all right. It's on me. So 2004, I graduated four-year college in '03, and I got my Associate of Arts degree. Okay. I didn't have any friends. I made a girlfriend or two, but like I told you in the last video concerning Zombie Boy, they never lasted past 2 months each. And no, I didn't cheat. I met them on separate occasions. So I tried to be honorable. But anyway, Rosemary was based on the real Rosemary. I didn't do a lot of this. So Rosemary was basically this bitchy female. She's Thai and Mexican. This is her Mexican dad, and this is her Thai mom in the land of Thai with the Buddha. And here's Rosemary as a baby, and she's a sweet little kid. And there she is with her dog, cat, frog, and penguin. And there is Rosemary's her dad teaching him reading and writing and cake. And one day they got sick with cancer, and they sent Rosemary on a plane to go to America, and she would meet her sister Violet, who was a horrible person. So that's all I did concerning this. I did the origin of Drake, the first draft, the first draft of the origin of Rye, the first draft of the origin of Gino in '03, and in 2004, during this time I was looking for work as a janitor. A building and grounds worker is the more politically correct term. And I was just looking for different types of jobs. But I had an internship where I was doing slave work, or Negro work, as I called it before. And I was just shifting around job to job. I couldn't find the job I wanted. I wanted to be a computer animator, okay? And everybody kept giving me the lip about, well, your application's in a folder, we'll review it 6 months later. So in other words, fuck you, asshole. That's how it is. That's how it is. People don't want you to talk foul language and racial slurs, but people don't stop their bullshit. Anyway. So this is Jorge in a slightly pale white. This is such like art style. I used a black pen for outlines, the kind that shows up kind of like a dark bronze in the light. That's how I used that one for Jorge. Here's Rosemary. Here is Jerry. Now, this is based on my cousin Gabriel. My cousin Gabriel and I did not get along. He shitted on me for existing. He needed to feel superior. And he died of AIDS in the year 1995. Now, most people say, oh, that's terrible because, AIDS is a serious disease. And, but Magic Johnson survives. He's still alive. Magic is still alive. Irvin Magic Johnson was diagnosed with AIDS around the same time my cousin was. But Gabriel died because he didn't want treatment. He didn't want the pills. He didn't want to see a doctor. He didn't want to get some sort of therapy. He thought it wasn't as cool as joining a gang and hanging out with cholos and hanging out with tough guys and being all street rat, street hood, living in the ghetto, being the king. That was all that mattered to Gabriel. So Jerry is based on that. Jerry is based on being this badass. And he mistreated me when I was a kid. He roughed me up. He assaulted me. It was tough. And he was about a year older than me. So he was about 17 or 18. I think he was about 18 when he died. He became an adult. These are based, this is based on the origin of Drake, redrawn. I was going to do a fictional set of stories where Drake is this happy-go-lucky kid who lost his parents or lost his dad to disease, and his mom had a terminal illness. So he gets shipped over to his uncle and aunt with his cousin Jerry. So Drake and Jerry are mortal enemies, but Drake has these friends. This is his potential girlfriend. This is his friend, another friend, another friend. It's the same origin as Drake, but it would take 4 to 5 years for Drake to become an adult. And then he would lose the people he was close to. So it was like a human life, kind of Norman Rockwell, Rodolfo Anaya kind of story, kind of a Latino white American bred kind of culture. Uh, this is Zetro. This is a clone alien baby that I created here. It's hard to explain this one, but anyway, that's that one. This is Jerry when he becomes Jerry the Reaper. Jerry kills Missy, right? And so Missy's the one that with the pretty girl with the multicolored hair. So this is his punishment. He suffers third-degree burns in a fire accident. This is Freakenstein, half primate, half human. I created more characters in '04. This is Zetrolok, formerly Gamma Droid Prime from the 2002 stories. Here is Caesar Cruz. Here is, I'll put this up a little closer so you can see that. This is, show that a little bit better. Yeah, that's the Outcasts. That's the Outcasters in their new outfits. I wanted to make the outfits less obvious, less spot on. Here, the 5 are in these white, kind of white pastel, white to color things here. Here's Drake again, based on me, in this sort of Aztec triangle sweater. Here's Rye. I gave them much more natural outfits. There's Gino. Something much more blending in. I saw a girl wear this kind of outfit, and I put Rosemary in that. Here's Jorge in a more kind of East LA kind of outfit. I'm going to show this in detail tomorrow. The actual drawings, not the computer. So I'm just showing it a little bit. I'm not going to explain all this because I want it to be a surprise when I show it tomorrow. This is them in their youth. Jorge, Rosemary, and Gino. Here's Gino later on. That's Zetro, Circus Freaks. This is Io, a sort of an alien creature that could adapt to any environment. Little Miss Valentine, what Missy becomes when she dies. So I'm going to put this in slideshow mode. And we'll talk a little bit about what's going on here. So this work, this is like, at this point, I wanted to do something much more serious. I had a lot of ideas. I came up with a lot of things. I said, I want to make this work. I want to make these characters appealing. I want to make these characters relevant. I want them to matter. And the one way to make them matter is to make them relevant to my life. I lived a life of isolation. I never had friends growing up, but I wanted young Drake to be this happy-go-lucky kid who lost everything. But in real life, if I never had those things, how would I know what it's like to have those things? So when I rewrote Drake, as far as 2018 goes, I rewrote him to be more mysterious. He talks about having this happy life, but we never actually see it. It's all a mystery, and that's the way I intended to write it. So I went through costume changes for them. They're much more serious. They're much more darker. But I wanted some humor, and I kept some humor in. Thinking about my real life, in my real life, I'm just, and I want to say this to summarize the last video I did yesterday about Rick Janess, Zombie Boy. I'm a victim of the system that continues to work against me. One of my favorite movies actually is the Bourne trilogy with Matt Damon. Just going against the system and doing what you want. Drake is a victim of the system. His cousin, losing his friends, trying to find his way in life. He felt isolated. The feeling of having a girlfriend who really cares about you, that's ideal, but it never really happened for me. And I wish it did. Maybe I would have been a much different person. But I created characters like Gino and Rosemary and Jorge who are cynical, who are mean-spirited, but underneath the mean spirit, blowing my nose here, underneath that spirit, they're victims of the system too. These are the circus freaks redrawn. Um, and all they want is justice. All they want is justice for themselves. So um, the origin of Rosemarie is sort of an example of that, of how do characters go through the tragedies they go through. Because in this one, it would be intended that Rosemarie and Violet, her sister, was going to have a real confrontation. Um, Rosemarie is based on a real life Rosemarie, Jack has. We got along okay, but all I can tell you, I mean, as far as legally, all I'm allowed to tell you is that she never really approved of my work. I mean, from my point of view, she never, from my honest opinion, she never, from the way her comments, she seemed a bit snarky about it. But again, when I write characters based on people I really meet, um, I have to go with a feeling. I have to go with an emotional response. So my emotional response was to make her a swearing bitch, but not just a mouthy bitch. Someone who could pick up a gun or a sword and defend children and defend innocent people. So I wanted people who were like comedians or very out of the ordinary people, but people who would do the right things at the end. So that's about it. I'm going to just end it here. Uh, I've got more to show tomorrow, and you will see next week some of 2005. I'm not sure how many days I'm doing that for, but you will see more origin stories. But tomorrow will be the second edition of the origin of Drake, with a lot more detail. Jerry the Reaper being the most important. So this is Maestro Drake signing out. Be kind, be cruel, but be you.